Here we go. In this box. Well, it was in this box. A Emerson Super Karambit. Now we're going to get into the good and the bad. I bought two of these. One with the black blade and one with the stone washed. And first let's get into the things that are, I guess, bad. First thing is instead of saying Super Karambit, it's called a Horseman. Emerson does make a Horseman, but this obviously is not a Horseman. Second thing I didn't like about this was they did the stone wash. That's generally on the flats. They did that on the bevel here. And on the, I guess you call this the swedge. I took a stone, found that angle, and I tried to take out, well, I did take out the stone wash. Tried to give it like a grind look. I'm not done though, I'm gonna have to work on that. But the swedge came out okay, I think. It was sharp, but I touched the edge up on, I have a Chinese copy Apex, I believe, sharpener. I should do a review on that. And that's what I use. And to do a karambit, it's extremely hard because of this curve that they got. An outer curve's okay, but on the inner curve, you only get 2 points of contact with your stone. So it does make it kind of hard. The back has a nice stone washed appearance. This is a chisel grind. You can kind of see a little bit of an edge there. You're supposed to just kiss the burr off when you're done on them chisel grinds that Emerson does. The pocket clip, you can see it sticks up a little bit. I did that myself because these came so far down, they were so hard that you couldn't even slip them in your pocket with one hand. So I just kind of added a little bit of a bend to that. So, but it does have that Emerson pocket clip look to it. So you're gonna have to do that. Something else, if you look at the real Emerson, you'll notice where this flat and the, what I call the, it slips my, the swedge, where they meet, that sort of a peak, it's really short on that real Emerson. If you look at them, that is kind of long. I mean, that peak's way longer before the flat ends up here, or when the flat ends up here. It has a peak right there at my thumbnail. That starts way back here. So there are some geometrical differences. A little bit of a geometrical difference in the thumb hole when you compare it to the real one. My only other complaint outside of this not having a grind look, the back not having a grind look, it all being stone washed, the pocket clip, which that's an easy fix, but my other complaint on this one is, and I might need to show you with a light, look at the lockup. It goes almost all the way across. That lock bar does. Now, on the black one that I ordered, the lockup is great. But if you listen, hear that, it it goes all the way to the back, and it binds. You can hear it click out of place. That's my only other complaint. Instead of the lockup being here, or maybe even halfway, it's way across. Now that can be fixed. I could take this liner out, and on the end of the lock bar, just throw a bead of weld on there, maybe about 10-15 thou, and then just kind of square the face of that up. That'll fix that, I believe. It's centered. It is centered pretty good. It just looks weird because you got this swedge that kind of makes it look odd. I gave 14 for this knife, 14.50. You can kind of see some grind marks that the stone wash didn't quite get rid of. But that's no big deal. Not to me anyway, but now this is like this on the real Emerson too. The windows in the G10, so you can see the liner, I kind of hate that. I mean, some people think it's cool. I don't. What I will do is I will take these liners out tonight when I go to work, and I'll have the liners thrown in the stone washer so that it will just, take that shine out of it. I'm not sure if on the Emersons, some pictures I see they are stone washed liners, and in some I see they have this real nice satin look to them, so I'm not sure. The washers inside are nylon washers. You can see the spacers here. I'm not so early in the morning that these terms are slipping my mind, but these spacers also, standoffs. The standoffs also don't look like the Emersons. And I'll give you a good example of that. This is a standoff on this, and here's a copy. What do we got? My 0630. You can see that the standoffs on this look exactly like 0630 standoffs. Get that fuzz off of them. They got that nice radius in the center. And they just look exactly the same. That is a copy 0630. So why are the standoffs, why do they look different? I mean, I know this is a copy, but they could have did the exact same as the Emerson standoffs. They have that radius in the center of them as well. And if I decide to keep this, if I can fix the lock bar, and if I can give this a better look on this flat, and I keep this, I just might take a stashed piece of titanium in my toolbox, and I just might program and make myself some standoffs for this, and I guess leave them the stainless look. Maybe I can paint them black, I don't know, but other than that, the wave feature, and I can't show that to you, I'm in pajamas right now, but the wave feature works just fine. I carried this knife yesterday, even though it is big. It is big, and I'll compare it here with my Chinese fox. When I put this in my pocket, and I put my hand in my pocket, this whole thing rakes the side of my hand. I mean, I can feel this in my pocket. The ring being so thin, it doesn't get in the way whatsoever. Now, when I put this in my pocket, my hand doesn't rake against this, if at all. I mean, I know I only used it yesterday, but I'm pretty sure I did not feel this at all. What I did feel was this ring, because this ring is thick. This is a big ring. And, you know, when I'd stick my hand in my pocket, I was always going over the ring. I'm right-handed, but just to show you, my hand was always, I couldn't get down in beside it. I had to go over the ring. Now, if I keep this, my intentions are to throw on a carbon fiber clip. Now, I put this on yesterday, and I had to do the holes out a little bit to fit those screws, but I fit this on there yesterday, and this fell down in that window, the last window right here. So you just had a little bit sticking up, and it wasn't enough to catch your edge of your pocket and lift this up. So another project that I have is, again, if I decide to keep this, to make solid G10 scales, no windows, or possibly solid carbon fiber scales with no windows. But carbon fiber clip, carbon fiber scales might be too much carbon fiber, I don't know. We'll do a, for some of you that might have a, try to get them, and then let me adjust the camera here. You can see the super karambit is extremely big. Is it overkill big? No. I mean, you can see my hand, and it fits in the hand pretty good, and the edge is, you know, decent sized. I like the, if I had to choose between these two, what I like about the Fox is it's got a thin handle. It's just, especially in this grip, it's just, it fits pretty good, you know? And again, this is a Fox clone. Let me move the camera back here so you can try to get full view here. When I put this in the reverse grip, you have to line your fingers up with that, because this is kind of like a Glock. If it fits your fingers, it's great. If it doesn't, you get these humps right in your fingers, because I kind of like holding it like this, but under that finger right there, the ring finger, that hump gets me. So I've got to change my grip around and hold it like this. But when I get this in my hand, it feels great. The ring has great, I'm going to call it surface area. And this is fantastic. The ring on this, even though I like it because it's thin, it doesn't have a lot of surface area. And I like that also because you don't get your finger trapped. You know, it's just a little ring. And it does feel good, but when you are holding this, and by the way, these edges on the inside, the liner edges, are smooth. There's no sharp edges. When you hold either one of these and you flail, you have to look this up, it's a karambit term. When you flail, the flail I feel is smoother with this ring, but this ring kind of hurts the back of my index finger in the flail. This one supports it much more, and it doesn't hurt at all, if that makes any sense. They're both great. I have the same issue on both of them with the lock bar. You can see that one goes pretty much 3/4 of the way across. Same on this one, pretty much 3/4 of the way across. Every Chinese knife that I've bought, with the exception of my CQC7 clone that has had this style lock bar, they've always went 3/4 of the way across, always. And I don't know, why the Chinese can't get the drift that it should start much sooner. I don't know why. In my copy, we're just going to take this 630. Look at that. That lock bar is way up there, perfect. Everyone I've had that has this style lock bar, inserted or not, but this, what you call it, like a frame style lock bar, everyone that I've owned, the lockup's perfect. I had a Strider copy, locked up just the same. Just early lockup, really nice. And the same thing with my 620. The lockup on that, very early. Very nice. But for some reason, they just can't grasp that these lock bars should start way sooner. If it was 50%, I wouldn't have a problem with that. But I just 3/4 of the way. And then when like I said, let's get this out of... If I open this really hard, it's hard to do this on camera and show you guys, but when I flick that open, I mean, look at that. That goes way across. Way across. And listen, you can hear that click right out of place. Now, I've thought about, could I bend this lock bar a little bit, take a little tension out of it so it doesn't push all the way across? I don't know. I'm not real good with these style lock bars and the fixes, so if you guys know a way to fix it, like I said, my way would be to micro weld a 10, 15, maybe 25 bead of weld on its face, and then just sort of file it and check it, file it and check it till I get the lockup I want. Other than, like I said, those 2 or 3 reasons, this is nice. It's pretty cool. 14 bucks, you cannot complain too much. I'm pretty sure they don't put a whole lot of time and effort into a $14 knife as much as they do a $60 knife. 65. 65 for this one. And I did have that issue on, is this a 630? Yeah, I did have that issue on this side of the frame with these screws being stripped, as you guys know. But obviously it looks like I fixed that, huh? That's solid now. Get this out of the way. This is cool. I'll probably end up selling this or giving it away. I usually give the ones away that... It's not that I don't like this one. I just have an issue with... It's just hard to get an edge on this thing. But it is cool. Pocket clip needs change. I hate that pocket clip. But I don't like this enough to put a carbon fiber on there, but I do like this pocket clip though. Or I mean, this knife. It's just hard to put an edge on this. And, my issue with this lock bar. But this one don't. It has that nice audible click. And it doesn't lock into place like that other one has that click sound. This is just too much of a radius. It builds up too much area in the pocket for me. You know, believe it or not, some pockets, this does feel okay. But most, for me, it just doesn't. On this one, you see this isn't much here. It looks like on camera, but it's not. And it's really neat for 14 bucks. But I just wish the lockup was different. That's my only issue. As far as, let's check blade play. Let me snap that back the way. Blade play in this direction, a smidge. Left or right. I mean a smidge, and you really gotta push on it. Could that be fixed with washers? Thicker washers? I don't know. You guys tell me. Blade play back and forth. None. Rock solid. Here's another thing. You see this hole here, a little above my thumb, right at the liner. On the real Emerson, that hole is on this side. So, does that mean the lock is on this side and not this side? I don't know. I've never seen a real CQC7 in this position. I've never seen a real Emerson Super Karambit in this position. I'm assuming you don't go this way. I'm assuming he would set you up, you know, right to left, but again, the centering is fine. Here's something else that I noticed. When you have this open, you can push this blade across, make it touch the G10. Only when it's in this position, this sort of half open, half close. I wonder if that's, well, I wonder why that's flexing. Again, I'm thinking washers. I'm thinking you need a thicker washer in there. Maybe something bronze, copper, something like that, but but this is pretty cool, 14 bucks. By the way, the black one is my brother's. I don't have that here. I ordered that for him. I haven't checked its blade play. Its lockup is good. And I haven't checked to see if you can push it over to make it touch the G10. And because it's black, I didn't have to worry about the flats or the swedge. It's obviously got the same liners. It's got the same standoffs. It also says Horseman on it. I thought about polishing these, but at least this one anyway. Maybe the back one. I don't know. But that is my review. You know, if you are thinking about getting a Super Karambit, but you'd like to try one out first, or at least get a feel for one, for 14 bucks, I'd rather spend the 14 and end up only being out 14 than to spend like $277 and being out. You know, you might be able to sell that for 200 bucks. I don't know. So there you go. If you have any questions, any comments, you know what to do. Bye.